Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We hope you are warm at home. It's kind of nice not to have to leave our homes tonight on this cold, icy New England night. But I know we're all picturing in our mind our sanctuary at Temple Beth David, and I want to invite you to take this moment to set up your own sanctuaries at home. And we're going to open our service with words from this week's Torah portion, Truma. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but words that invite us to create our own Mishkan, our own sanctuary.
O Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. The words are simple. O Lord, prepare me. O Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary. Pure and holy. Pure and holy. Tried and true. And with thanksgiving I'll be a living. I'll be a living sanctuary. Those words of Torah, ve'asuni mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham ve'asuli mikdash v'shachanti
Make me a sanctuary where God may dwell within. We hope that this Shabbat you will feel the presence of God in your home, perhaps around your Shabbat table. And we take this time to enter into Shabbat. And for those on Zoom, it's wonderful to see you. For those joining us on live stream, we know you're out there as well. And please do join us. Remember, at home, you can sing as loudly as you want. And we hope you'll add your voices with ours as we bring in at this moment our Shabbat messengers, our Shabbat angels of peace. You can find the words of Shalom Aleichem on page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Yilech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei
השלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי העליון. כי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
And we'll turn back now to pages 2 and 3, and I invite you to light Shabbat candles in your own home as we bring in the light of Shabbat. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, letzivanu lehadlik shel Shabbat. Shalom. Continue with Lecha Dodi on page 20, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And if you're comfortable on that last verse, you're welcome to rise, face your doors, and welcome in Shabbat.
Yael alay lecha dodi, Yael alay ligrat kala, Yael alay penei Shabbat, Yael alay lekabela, shamor vezachor v'dibur echad, yishmi'anu el echad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, Shemo tiferet le'ikah. Yael alay lecha dodi, Yael alay ligrat kala, Yael alay penei Shabbat, Yael alay nekabela, Mikrat Shabbat lebechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor haberacha, Berosh mikedem le'suka, Soma aseh b'machshavas tila, Yael alay lecha dodi, Yael alay ligrat kala, Yael alay penei Shabbat, Yael alay nekabela, Hitoreri, hitoreri, Ha'orek umi ori, uri, uri, shir gaberi, Shemor Adonai alay tiva, Yael alay lecha dodi, Yael alay ligrat kala, Yael alay penei Shabbat, Yael alay nekabela, Ro'im shalom ateret bala, Gam besimcha u'betzola, Tov emunei am segula, Boi chala, Ay, 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 lecha dodi, Ay, 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 ligrat kala, Ay, 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 penei Shabbat, Yael alay nekabela.
Continue with our call to worship on page 28.
Yael alay, lay, 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 lay. Adonai
Page 30, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. Page 32. Join in Shema.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevon Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. Page 36, we chant together these words of Torah that remind us of our love for God. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha תקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 40, we find our Song of the Sea, a song of freedom, but more than that, it's a song of awe, a song of being in the wilderness, a song of seeing the world with eyes refreshed by freedom. Shabbat gives us an opportunity to view our world in such a way through freedom, gratitude, and awe. Page 42. Thanks, Tim, for the volume note. I was getting red. Now I'm getting red. If it's okay, I'll keep going. But I'm getting red on my monitor, though. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Page 44 will join in these words, reminding us of this gift of the seventh day. Those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. The people that hallow Shabbat will delight in your goodness. For being pleased with the seventh day, you hallowed it as the most precious of days, drawing our attention to the work of creation. We rise in body or in spirit, page 46, as we enter into our tefillah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Zocher Chasei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geulah Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol ata rav le'Hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechalkel chayim bechesed. Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umido melach. Melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please continue silently offering the prayers from your hearts and feel free to be seated when you're ready.
No, but you guys sound good.
May the one who makes peace above bring peace here amongst all of us. Page 62.
Ose shalom bimroha, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We take this time in our service now to especially think of loved ones who are ill at this time. You can find the words to Misha Berach on page 253. And for those on Zoom, you're welcome to add any other names into the chat or name any loved ones in your hearts. And we especially pray for these members of our temple community who are ill. Colin Monroe, Mary Lou Hole, Janet Watson, Paul Robillard, Elizabeth Hill, Kelso Silva, Enrico Mascaro, Deborah Booker, Amy Seith, Robert Bloom, Annalie Stone, Benjamin Horowitz, Bradley Dichter, Matteo Goldman, Dan Ruggiero, Toby Weiner, Esya Rushavskaya, Amy Fastberg-Kurtz, Eileen Arnone, Marilyn Breyer, Jean Sands, Roseanne Cohen, Doug Cohen, Tom Fiorino, Barry Levine, Jamie Cook, Carolyn Weil, Gary Bacalar, John G., Stephanie Davidson, Nick Fior, and Harvey Grassfield. Pray for them and all who care for them as we join together.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We wish them refuah shlema. We're going to screen share in just a moment as we began our service with the words from this week's Torah portion, Trumah. Vasuli mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham. Let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. We're going to focus in on those words from Exodus chapter 25. If you have your own Torah commentary at home, you're welcome to open that as well. Exodus chapter 25, the beginning of Parshat Truma. And after the Israelites have been making their way through the wilderness, 2 weeks ago, we were at Mount Sinai receiving the 10 Commandments. Last week, a reminder of Mishpatim, all the commandments that followed. And now we have this instruction for the Israelites to build a Mishkan, a portable sanctuary or tabernacle that will accompany them throughout the wilderness. And we can't see everyone who's on Zoom all at once, but we'll be inviting some participation for those of you who are on Zoom, if you'd like.
We're reading.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and just start, but okay, I'm going to start with our Torah portion. We may ask for some volunteers along the way with some commentary, but here's the opening of our portion. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, the Eternal spoke to Moses, saying, tell the Israelite people to bring me gifts. You shall accept gifts from me from every person whose heart so moves them. And these are the gifts that you shall accept from them: gold, silver, and copper, blue, purple, and crimson yarns, fine linen, goat's hair, tanned ram skins, dolphin skins, and acacia wood, oil for lighting, spices for the anointing oil and for the aromatic incense, lapis lazuli and other stones for setting, for the ephod and for the breastpiece. And let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. Vasuli mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham. Exactly as I show you the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all its furnishings, so shall you make it.
So we're going to focus, as Rabbi Karen said, on that verse. Let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. So what might that mean? And we're going to look at a series of commentaries. The first one is a contemporary commentary by one of our colleagues, Rabbi Amy Schwartzman, who writes, look at this line carefully and you will find a wonderful and relevant message within it. The text says, make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among you. We might expect the text to say, make me a sanctuary and I will dwell in it, but it doesn't. It says something much better: work together to build holiness and God will dwell with you. When we engage in sacred work, God is in our midst. This Torah portion teaches us that building a sanctuary is not only about a room with chairs and a bima and an ark. Although sacred activities can happen in our sanctuaries, just because we build and decorate these places doesn't guarantee God will be there. Truma makes it clear that God will dwell among us, but that will happen only as a result of what we choose to do when we are with others in any space. Each of us can build holiness and kindness and help create love and fairness. And it's interesting to think about Rabbi Schwartzman's interpretation as we are far from our sanctuary right now, looking forward to returning, but it also reminds us in a way what the essence is of sanctuary beyond its physical manifestations.
So for our next brief commentary,
You want to ask for
all right. We don't want to put anyone on the spot, but on our screen, we see Fred and Lucinda there. So maybe would either of you be comfortable? So there's two and they kind of go together and they're each short. So if each of you would like to take the text by Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Kotsk, you don't need to say his name if you don't want to. And then the short Hasidic teaching that follows.
Why does the text say within them rather than within it when referring to God dwelling in the Mishkan? In order to teach you that every person must build a Mishkan in his or her heart in which God might dwell.
It is incumbent upon every Jew to bring holiness into his or her private home, one's inner or private life, that the atmosphere in their home is filled with holiness, that one's home will also be a house of God. Hasidic teaching.
Thank you, Fred and Lucinda. So we have two understandings of God dwelling within them. One, kind of personally in our hearts, in our own being, and secondly, in our own home. So I do want to take a moment to pose a question. And if you're on live stream, you can, I don't know, email us later or just think about it amongst yourselves. So the question for all of you, and again, if you're on Zoom, you can enter a response in the chat, or if we can see you, if you want to put your hand up. So the question is, we do find ourselves here at home, in our in however we've configured our sanctuaries at our home. And of course, the Talmud teaches that after the destruction of the one temple in Jerusalem, that we were supposed to create what they called mikdash ma'at, little sanctuaries, spread all around. So my question for you is, how have you found creating a sanctuary in your home? What has made your home sanctuary holy for you? And maybe it's something that you're just thinking about right now tonight, or maybe it's something that you've discovered during this pandemic, when, again, we never had this experience before of worshiping together from each other's homes. So what is something that has helped you create holiness, or ways that you have found God's presence in your own home sanctuary? So that's the question. You can answer in the chat, or
what? Can't see everyone. Stop the screen share. So
all right, sir.
Text, and then we can get to the rest of our questions. So I think we've got one more text and then a few more questions. So keep thinking about that, and we'll take our screen share off, and we'll be able to go to a gallery view, and then we can take also a few comments too.
Okay, so keep thinking about that question. You have more time. And all right, I know it's Rabbi Micah's turn, but this is one of my all-time favorite. It's one of my all-time favorite texts. So
I would never take that text.
I quote this a lot, so you may have heard me say it. But here we go. Another Hasidic commentary that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll show it to you. And one other layer of meaning of God dwelling among them teaches us about the importance of teamwork. So as I share this, think about our own Temple Beth David congregation. In the building of the Mikdash, all of Israel joined their hearts. No one felt superior to his fellow. At first, each skilled individual did their own part of the construction, and it seemed to each one that their own work was extraordinary. Afterward, they saw how their contributions to the service of the tabernacle were integrated. All the boards, sockets, curtains, and loops fit together as if one person had done it all. Then they realized how each depended on the other. They understood that what they had accomplished was not only by virtue of their own skill alone, but that the Holy One had guided the hands of everyone who had worked on the Mikdash. So we'll go ahead now and take off our screen share so we can actually see all of you. And
there, in addition to the question that Rabbi Karen just asked about how have we created a Mikdash Ma'at in our home, you'll see a few other questions, which are what are the qualities and characteristics of creating a holy space, whether it's in our home or our synagogue? How can we have a willing heart? Our Torah portion talks about a willing heart to bring these gifts. So how do we cultivate that in order to contribute personally to our Mikdash at Temple Beth David? And finally, you can type in the chat, one personal contribution that you bring to Temple Beth David and our Mikdash. So I'm going to take off the screen.
All right, so we're going to go back to my original question. And if anyone would like to offer a response to a way that you have created holiness or brought God's presence into your own home sanctuary, maybe something that was surprising to you that you hadn't thought about prior to these past years. And if anyone would like to answer, you're welcome to unmute and share. Or
It's okay, we don't have to say it. People see it. Some meetings. There's a lot of comment, of course, in the chat about showing up on Zoom, and being present is really important. However, we can be present, and that's been a lot on Zoom. I think there was a hand up, maybe. Oh, Gary Kaplan.
Yeah, hi. Shabbat Shalom. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I want to compliment you on this exercise that you're doing now. I think this is very good way of making the service interactive. Well, oddly enough, or maybe not oddly enough,
We're not hearing you, Gary.
you're not hearing?
Here, speak,
What's
speak,
the matter?
just speak closer to
Can
the,
you? Where's the?
I think it's in,
Can you hear me now? No?
You're in and out.
I can hear everybody else, but
We could hear Betty pretty good.
really?
get switch seats with me.
Well, maybe.
Gary, you can go ahead now. It was our microphone picking you up. I've muted us. You can speak.
Can you hear now?
Yes.
Is it? Oh, okay, good. So you didn't hear any of what I said a couple minutes ago. Well, that's good because I didn't really mean it anyway. No, I said this exercise that you're doing right now, this interactive exercise, is very nice, very good. I like the activity. Oddly, or maybe not oddly, having the services online like this in our home kind of, it makes it a sanctuary. It's really curious the way that just bringing it in like this sort of de facto makes the home the sanctuary. It's an odd thing, but that's the effect of it. And you know, the whole idea of the small sanctuaries, you know, because of the diaspora, this is another take on that. You know, we're in a particular kind of diaspora now. You know, a viral diaspora, and this allows us to be together and to have the ceremony going on right here on the dining room table. So it makes this a sanctuary.
Thank you, Gary.
that's great.
Anyone else want to share how you make sanctuary in your home, what you offer to Temple Beth David, or even the characteristics? If the Israelites were supposed to bring all of the skins and stones and fine thread, what are those things metaphors of? What do we bring to create a holy space?
Can anybody hear me?
You're good, Lois.
Okay, thank you. We bring precious gifts, we share them, we open our home. And right now, my daughter is my rock. I don't know if you knew that Alan fell and broke a hip and has been patched up and, you know, wonderful treatment, but we had a snowstorm at the same time. He was transported from one hospital to another. Anyhow, the point I am trying to make, I get so much support from my friends here. A lot of them are ladies because we have activities together, you know, mahjong and things like that of great importance. But it's also like having your arms around me, all of you, in a way to tell me that you're there And I didn't get a chance to mention his name tonight when we were doing the names, but this has become such an important part of my life, because every time I gather with you people, I come away feeling that I've got a safety blanket around me, and warmth and love. And thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, rabbis, too. And just P.S., in a few weeks, we're going to have a naming. Barbara is a grandmother, so I'm a great grandmother. So that's going to be about the 17th or 18th. So love to share that with you too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lois, for sharing that. And Alan is in our prayers. I think we need to just end these questions on that image that Lois provided us of the Mishkan, the sanctuary, as a blanket. This is actually an image I've never heard of or thought of before. But as we talk about God's presence dwelling within us or within them, the Jewish people, or our people, even through virtual space and time, that image of sanctuary, of God's dwelling kind of as a protective blanket is just beautiful. And you captured so well, again, what it means to be together in community. I think Lori, who wrote again in the chat about showing up for each other, and that certainly brings us back to that Hasidic commentary about Mishkan, about being a personal feeling, but also certainly made stronger by working together and being together. I'll just add, because I do see Lori on our Zoom, our fundraising chair, that Temple Beth David has gotten the name for our annual appeal, our annual fundraiser, Gifts from the Heart, from this very passage that we read, that the Torah instructs us to bring forth gifts from our hearts as our hearts move us. And that is the biblical reference for the name of Gifts from the Heart that we reference so often at Temple Beth David. And I'll just speak for Lori and our lay leaders that I know all of our community and our members are so appreciative of the gifts that each of us bring, whether it be financial, time, our presence. Our community stands on these gifts from the heart.
And the fact is, we can do all of those things. We can do it in so many different ways. And we were discussing in Talmud this week about the importance of minyan and showing up to create a prayer quorum, because some prayers can't be said without it. So all those ways of showing up and bringing our hearts makes it all possible.
Thank you all for participating. To be continued, we would be glad to continue the conversation with you. We're going to move into our concluding prayers now for this service. Oh, before we conclude, yes, you're all welcome to join at 9 a.m. tomorrow with our lay-led minion. Avi Glazer will be leading, and I think continuing to study this text and this portion.
And I know Brandon Popper, who's a member of our naughty board, really wanted to share one piece for any naughtyites who are out there, or any of you who know teenagers. Brandon, do you want to give a brief 13-second shout out to what's going on?
Yeah, next Saturday, teens in grades 8 through 12, we would love to have you at Temple for some fun events. Naughty is a great way for teens to with one another at Temple. So hope to spread the message.
We do have a great group of teens. Thank you so much, Brandon.
So please read your weekly shofar for other programs coming up. I know Sisterhood has a book group and another social Brotherhood coming up in February. We have Brotherhood Shabbat, the last Friday in February, and actually in not next week, but 2 weeks, we have a special speaker joining us Shabbat evening on Zoom in the spirit of Inclusion Awareness Month, which is in February, where we'll have a special guest speaker sharing some perspective with us on February, I believe, 18th. And we are remote for Shabbat this month, but again, looking to return back to our beloved Temple Beth David Sanctuary, hopefully in a couple weeks. You can find Aleinu L'Shabeach on page 282, and you are welcome to rise if you would like.
Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, L'Tekedu L'Yotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kigoye Ha'aratzot, Velo Samanu Kimishpachot Ha'adama, Shelo Sam Chalkenu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, V'anachnu Korim, Umishtachavim Umodim, Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'emar V'haya Adonai, L'melech al kol ha'aretz. Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo echad.
We take this moment to remember our loved ones who are no longer with us. You can find the words for Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, on page 294 as we take this moment to reflect on our loved ones' lives and memories. We are remembering these loved ones who passed away in recent weeks, my uncle Steve Luoff and great uncle of Yona and Itai, Linda Cohen, the sister of Neil Grossman, sister-in-law of Diane Grossman, aunt of Emily P. and her husband, Benjamin Weber, and Nathan Grossman. And we remember these loved ones whose yahrzeit, whose anniversary of death occurred this week. S. George Albion, Gertrude Alexander, Theodore Aronson, Joseph Bukes, Sophie Crane, Lucille Cutler, Edna Gordon, Helen Greenberg, Luann Willem John, Sally Horvitz, Margate Linher Lustig, Ruth Lisbon, Sol Nash, Wayne Olam, Sylvia Oppenheim, Jonathan Pincus, Isidore Shapiro, Bertha Sheranow, Mickey Sherman. I invite you to take a moment to add any other loved ones, and we'll join together. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, ve'chayechon uvyomechon u'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach ve'olam ulamei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekusha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing.
We're going to conclude our service just as we started it with a prayer asking us to help make Mikdash, to help make sanctuary.
O Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Prepare me
sanctuary. Your hands holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
I want to invite you to hold up your Kiddush cup and we'll join. Tim, if you want to unspotlight us, that way we can see each other. And we will join in the blessing of Kiddush, of sanctifying this Shabbat. You can find the words on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodeshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim.
Now feel free to unmute as we make motzi. The challah, please.
Oh, please.
Thank you. Good.
And here's Iggy on call.
Unmuted. Unmuted, unmuted. Unmuted.
There we go.
Were we just muted?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, please join us in Motzi. Our dog Iggy is ready.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go, Iggy.
Beautiful service.
So can you leave it? Oops.
Selena.
Your dog's adorable.
Okay, that's enough.
Lois and Barbara, do you guys need any help or need anything? Is there anything we can do?
Oh, Amy, you're a sweetie pie. I think we're good. I think he's just has to stay in rehab. Maybe another week. He's in Norwood. And as long as the roads are navigable, we see him every day. And
I would say if you have his email address, shoot him an email. He does have his phone with him. I think the more, he's a people person, so he'll be happy to hear from
That's
as many
true, of
people
course.
as possible.
thank you for
Can you put his email in the chat?
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
great.
hold on. Let's turn off the live stream. I don't know if the chat gets on.
Oh, right. Never mind. I'll email you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can look her up in the directory.
Yeah.
It's the Furniture Maker one, isn't it?
It is
Furniture
Furniture Mates.
Verizon, at
Can we
Verizon.
turn off the live stream?
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't do that right now.
The live stream seems to still be going.
It's about to be off.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Say hello to Alan, Lois. Sorry for his accident.
I will.
When are they going to go back to